Hi, this is Kathy Goodwin, and today's topic is how do you find time for social media marketing? I got this idea because a client was hiring me to work on a website and then said, what happens after we get the website up? How do I maintain it? How do I keep going with social media? So I came up with this video. What I have found is that most people get too concerned about social media. They want to be in everything. I mean, every day we get bombarded with, why aren't you on Facebook? Here are some cool things to do with Twitter. And did you know you're missing people if you're not on Pinterest? Well, sometimes you kind of have to take a step back and say, I'm going to really think about this strategically. And that way that you can start answering this question, how can I maintain social media as part of my marketing strategy? So first, let's look at who should write your blog, because that's a question I get a lot. Like, should I hire someone? What should I do? Well, first, your blog is really critical because it communicates your values. It really lets people know what you're about in a three-dimensional way. No matter how carefully you write about your business, people get a sense of who you are. So your blog is really powerful. It builds a connection to your clients. I know I have felt like I know people after I read their blog, and there are some people whose blogs I go out of my way to read because I just feel like I know them. So you want to be careful about delegating your blog posts out to an outside provider. For one thing, it can be costly to outsource in both time, because you have to explain things, and money. And then there are costs, because a lot of times, even if you are willing to pay, there's a backlash. Cheap bloggers often help themselves to other people's content. I mean, it's like someone says, okay, I'll do a post for $5. Well, the only way they can come up with a reasonable way to make money at $5 a post is either they're not a native speaker of your language, they don't know your business well, and a lot of times they just grab somebody's content and plug it in. There's the blog post. And you're the one, as you know, I'm preaching to the choir here, you're the one who gets in trouble with that. Additionally, they can really create inaccurate information and present your information not only with incorrect facts, but with a slant or a nuance or an innuendo that you had no intention of including. So it's really usually not a good idea to hire cheap bloggers. So what can you do if you're a busy person and your blog is really where it's at? Well, first, there are many ways to write blog posts fast. And this is just one resource that I'll also post at the end, budurl.com/fast blog post. And at any time you can always pause the video and just click on the link or copy it down if it doesn't work on certain browsers. So you can come up with a system so that instead of spending hours and hours writing a blog, you can get one that's not just good or good enough, but that's really, really insightful and sometimes goes viral when you decide that you're really going to make a point of writing fast. And in fact, what I have found is when I say, okay, I'm not going to spend all day with this, I'm going to do it right now, I end up with a better quality post that gets read more and circulated more. It's the ones I really work on that, I'm not sure this is really what I want to do. And here's the key. If you don't remember anything else from this particular slide, use blog posts as your foundation for all your content. That's what I recommend when I help people put together systems. Start with your blog post, and then you'll be sharing your blog posts on various social media. It's fast, it's simple, and really what's important is it gives people a way to get to know you without shoving sales material down their throats. Okay, so you should really write your blog posts as much as possible. But what about your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn posts? Who's going to write those? Well, first of all, you need the personal touch, which is why many people, even busy, experienced business owners, really write their own social media posts. What you do on these is you share your blog posts. That's where you get a system going. And at some point, after you've gotten a number of blog posts, you find out that certain ones are catching on and getting retweeted or reposted or appreciated or commented on. Then you start thinking about putting those into additional content, such as ebooks, giveaways, teleseminars. That's a whole different topic, and I will show you a resource at the end of this video that will help you. But the idea is to keep it personal, and if you delegate this, you run a real risk that you're losing the personal touch. What I would say is, instead of trying to be everywhere, pick one or two outlets that you can really control, that you can take charge of and learn the ins and outs and nuances. Depending on your business, it might be Facebook, it might be Twitter, it might be LinkedIn. Really get a handle on that particular medium, learn it well, and do it yourself. You can automate distribution. You can use Hootsuite, that's my favorite. There's all kinds of other systems you can use, but you can definitely automate so you don't have to keep posting and reposting. You can do things like join Facebook blog links. So what you do is you have people sign up to get notices of your blog on Facebook. That you can do things like have people automatically see your posts on Twitter when you post them on Facebook. All kinds of opportunities. You have to be careful because you want to be everywhere, but some posts really need to be seen in smaller quantities. Now, you can hire a virtual assistant, and here are some things they can do for you. They can load social media posts to Hootsuite or another distributor, so you don't have to do that yourself once you've written the post or give them some detailed information. They can create the backgrounds, the visual effects on your Twitter and Facebook pages. They can upload to Pinterest if that's appropriate for your market. I have found Pinterest works really well in some markets, and it's like just for fun and, not that helpful in others. They can upload your PowerPoint videos to SlideShare. Now, what I do is I do a lot of videos like this, and I can take the PowerPoints and upload those to SlideShare, which is a content sharing network that a surprising number of people are in. They can edit your blog posts for you. You want to write them, or at least give them a lot of guidance on how to write the posts, but they can edit and they can add images for you. That is something you can delegate. Of course, you want to pick someone who has taste. You don't want some weirded out images, unless, that fits who you are, but they have to get a sense of the kind of images you want, and you have to be very, very careful. Anytime you hire someone to post images, they have to be someone who's not going to go and help themselves to everything on the internet and get you in trouble. They can also submit your blog post to article directories, and people still use articles. I have several places where I've been found through article directories. People have picked them up for different e-zines, even blog posts. So a VA can take care of distributing your blog post. That can't be done automatically. And finally, your VA can check your media for messages. So I don't know about you, but sometimes I get hooked. So I got to check my Facebook, see if anybody wants me, because I have gotten messages on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and even on Twitter saying, I'm interested in working with you. Can we get together? And for some reason, a lot of people like to make that their initial point of contact. So it's absolutely critical to check media every single day if you're active. But a VA can do that. Your VA can go on and say, there's a message here you need to see, and that way you'll go on and do it. And that will keep you from getting sucked in to everything that's out there. I know, I have to admit, I regularly get sucked in myself. Now, the other thing you want to do is set goals for social media. So when people say to me, okay, I'm going to do my website, but what about all the social media stuff? Well, why do you want to do it? Why do you need social media? Do you want to create awareness? Do you want to build your brand? Do you want to just raise curiosity so people will come to your site and want to learn more? What about building your list? Do you want to sell products and services? That can be done through social media. As I said, I have had people buy things, buy affiliate products, and hire me for projects through social media. But obviously that's not, if you're too obvious about it, it can backfire. So once you've got the goals, you can evaluate how you're doing with them. One thing to do is to evaluate the ratio of your time to results, because we get carried away. I mean, at least that's what I do. It's like social media is free, so I'll just do it. But your time is really a big investment. Time is huge. And a lot of times you find yourself investing a lot of time and not seeing anything specific. So it's important to look up every so often and say, is this really bringing me results? For instance, I found that Pinterest wasn't really doing much for me. So every so often I upload something because I don't want my accounts to die or look like no one's ever been there. But it's not an area where I'm going to spend time because my markets aren't there. You can try new approaches. Now, if you've been doing social media for a while, you can try ads. You can try adding more photos. You can try adding videos and see what happens. You can, most important, develop systems for using social media. Now, I do believe that you need some time to work on this yourself before you can develop a system and turn it over to someone, because every person's business is different. So find out what works for you. When is the best time for you to post? Some people, for example, have decided that they will post promotions for their list building, giveaways, maybe twice a day, once in the morning and once in the afternoon for months at a time, and maybe they'll alternate different giveaways. That would be an example of a system that you would have. And one of my systems is that I write a blog post, and then I have a list of places that I post the blog post, and it's pretty extensive, and sometimes I do it, sometimes I delegate it, but it's a system, and until you have a system written down for how you're going to handle it, it's challenging. I do recommend that you have goals, that you do integrate social media into your website, but in a thoughtful, caring way. I've seen a lot of people get a website and start saying, and I did this at one point, I want every social media icon out there to show that I'm involved. But you're going to find that some work for you and some don't. And you may have some, I'm talking about Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, but YouTube is great. I use YouTube all the time, and that's another example of a social medium. And another one we haven't talked about is Amazon, which has been very good for me in some areas. So we could go on about this forever, but I'm going to give you some resources, and I am affiliated with all these resources. First, my website, KathyGoodwinMarketing.com, and my services are listed on the page there. Now, I also have a product. This is the second URL you're seeing here. That's where the Content Multiplier course. It's a workshop. I gave it live, and it is now available as a home study course. What's cool about that is that it comes with a brief video critique of a piece of copy. So you could work on your social media, and then if you want me to critique a blog post or any part of your marketing, that's included within that program. This next one, budurl.com, Fast Blog Post, is from Nicole Dean, who has a really cool product, and it comes with a nifty plugin that you can use to let people learn more about you, even when they're waiting for you to approve their comment. Because nowadays, when you have a blog, it's like, your comment is waiting for approval, but you can make that work for you with this nifty plugin, and she's got that. And finally, I have a consultation, and you can sign up for it through the bottom link. I have several versions of the strategy consultation where we talk and really work on any aspect of your marketing or copywriting that you would like to discuss. So those are some of the ways that I can help you if you'd like to go beyond this. But in the meantime, I want to urge you to think about your social media in terms of saving time and keeping things simple. That's really what I'm all about. Get it done, get it working for you, get it out there, get clients. Thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on a future video and perhaps a one-to-one consultation. Have a wonderful rest of the day.